The Invincible Kid Who Really Wanted to Be Invisible, featuring MacCauley Culkin. From Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2, Uncle Buck, My Girl, Richie Rich, Party Monster, etc., you have the third child of 7, superstar child actor MacCauley Culkin, also called Mac. And just like Little Mac from the NES game Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Little Mac knocked out big-time box office numbers, being the most popular child star since Shirley Temple. But the problem was, he was really home alone, and eventually for a spell would end up lost in New York. In real life though, his father was to him what Joe Jackson was to the late Michael Jackson, so the twin programming was already cemented, making Mac and MJ close friends, with Kit Culkin, his father, technically operating as an MK Ultra handler for MacCauley Culkin. So the relentless work schedule of being on set, coupled with the verbal and physical abuse from his dad and being stranded under his supervision, because the two of them often traveled alone, made him want to be invisible. This is how it is sometimes when you're a star, when you shine. And these are the pains that only show up sometimes as outbursts, substance abuses by the victims, really, because secretly they're invincible, but all they really wanted to be was invisible. You see, MacCauley didn't have dreams of being an actor. That was his father's dream. His father failed as an actor because he couldn't get past the shame of having literally fallen off the stage while playing the role of a blind man, ironically. But little did he know, he was actually blinded by his own desperation. See, desperation causes you to do some dangerous things. And desperation causes you to throw things like ethics out of the window. So both Kit and his wife, they were in desperation. They were living in a railroad apartment, all 9 of them. This is what desperation looks like. Both Kit and his wife were desperate, initially pushing all the children toward acting, actually. But MacCauley was really the only one who succeeded, making him the multi-million-dollar meal ticket at roughly, 10, 11 years old? And from there, all of MacCauley's movies allude to what was really happening to him. See, this kid was invincible, but all he really wanted to be was invisible. When you're somebody else's meal ticket, they'll push you to the point of abuse, because at that point, you're no longer a person. You're a product. You're no longer a person. You're a prospect. You're no longer a person. You're potential. So I hope all of you gifted and talented people understand that none of this is your fault. None of it was your fault. Your parents may not have been responsible. They're the ones who hooked up without money. They did that. But now the pressure of their shortcomings is loaded onto your back. So now you have to carry your whole family before even getting a chance to have a family of your own. You're invincible. But all you really wanted to be was invisible. So MacCauley eventually gets emancipated from his family, securing his own fortune. He used an executor to help him out with that, and it finally took him moving to Paris before he could finally be invisible. When MacCauley was told, "Yeah, we know who you are, we just don't care," he enthusiastically responded, "Finally, where have you guys been all my life?" You see, MacCauley was content with the idea of being normal, although his charisma would have taken him somewhere special regardless, and that's obvious. But your path is your own, and on this path you're gonna have people who will do just about anything just to have a stake in wherever that path leads. And this is not to be confused with a good support system who can push you in the direction you're trying to go. No, the malicious have a path already pre-selected for you, because their desire to control you is their number one drug. MacCauley wasn't thinking, how can I keep my money? MacCauley was thinking, I'm trapped with a man who envies me and abuses me. How can I keep my will to live if I don't get away from him? MacCauley wasn't thinking money. He was thinking freedom. And now he's free with the money. And while scriptures tell people to honor their father and mother, we will be brainwashed fools to assume that this applies when the parents are dishonorable and live dishonorable. How could they receive an honor that they probably don't deserve? So keep pushing forward, people, at your pace, because at the beginning, the middle, and at the end of the day, this is your dream, your path, your plan, your peace, and your life. You had to be tough because you were shoved into the spotlight. You had to be disciplined because you had an authoritarian dictator with a military background for a parent. You had to be the man because your father was a boy. You had to be an empress because your mother was a mistress. A lot of us come from silent pain and our grind to receive quiet gain. Why? Because we're invincible. But the whole time, all we really wanted to be was invisible. Super T Sigma, Sigma programming. I love you all. In transmission.